TYT, Michael Schur, who's a huge lib, by the way. I love him. God bless him, as Joe Biden would say. He interviewed a bunch of Trump supporters, so we're going to watch this. It's so funny.
Because it's a lot more about just safety. It's actually about control. And the mask, and it literally says on the box of the mask, it doesn't stop the virus. It decreases your oxygen. It allows you to breathe in your own CO2. You need oxygen to stay healthy. You need oxygen to fight viruses. So when you're wearing a mask, scientifically, it is actually lowering it's increasing your risk of actually catching a virus.
He's done the research.
When you hear Dr. Anthony Fauci, for example, who's on the Vice President's Health Commission, say that by wearing a mask you're helping to stop the spread, what do you think of that?
He's a liar.
And why is that?
Because I don't believe in numbers.
What do you do to that? What do you say to that? That is what do you do at that point? I don't believe in numbers. I think numbers are a Zionist conspiracy. Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Who came up with math? Arabs. Algebra. I don't want that Arab numeral shit in my schools. Arabic numerals. What's next? You want me to do Sharia? Yeah, I will not wear a mask because the next step after I wear a mask is wear a head covering, praying 5 times a day. I don't even know what 5 is because I didn't learn numbers. I don't believe in them.
People die with about 50,000 every month in the United States, and most of these are probably people that were going to die for some reason, and just because they had external casualties, or not external. That's not the word. God damn it. Oh my God, my brain is not working. Excess, not external. There are a number of people who die every month. You can go to the CDC database to look at the number of people who died in the month of March in 2018, in the month of March in 2017, in the month of March in 2016, and you can look at the excess number of deaths of the people who died in the month of March in 2020. This is all information that is readily available to you. You can just literally look at it. You can look and compare. You can find that there are, for some weird reason, the exact amount of excess deaths in the month of March, April, May, June, July, especially during the peak of the pandemic, that correspond to the number of coronavirus casualties. Either these extra people out of nowhere in comparison to all of these previous years died for some weird reason that no one knows about still, or they died because they had comorbidities and they got coronavirus and they couldn't get the treatment, or they just died because they got coronavirus and had comorbidities. Either the scientific community internationally is lying, they're all in on it, brother, or they died of coronavirus because the scientific community is not lying about a global pandemic. It's so easy to just look at the numbers. How the fuck did 200,000 plus extra people die in the past 6 months than any other year? Had the virus in their system, it's listed as a death, so I'm not buying it. I don't think there's near as many deaths.
Okay, but how did they die? I'm not buying it. Like, people try to wash it away, but like, you try to wave it away. Like, 40,000 people die a month, brother. It's like, okay, cool that you know that. So what happens when in 1 month, instead of 40,000 people dying, 60,000 people die? What then? What happened? Why did 20,000 extra people die? Please explain this to me. Please. Especially in comparison to the previous year's same month. How? This is the 5G. At least with 5G conspiracies, like, there is something else that's going on that's killing people. You have to, at the very least, if you pull out a piece of the puzzle, you got to put something else. You got to jam another piece into that hole that you left. You literally can't just be like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And then, okay, so what killed them? We had a very mild flu season the last 2 years, and so the people that would have died from that survived. Is the data the doubters are using? Unacceptable. In its peak during the flu season, I think this was like the past 2 years are mild flu seasons because it was like 30,000 people died, or it was like 17,000 and then like 20,000 or 30,000 people died. Okay. At its peak, it goes all the way up to 65,000. We have had 200,000 people die so far. What is going on?
What do you think of the president's handling of the coronavirus?
I think he's done a fabulous job.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? I mean, it's something that kind of snuck in here. You can't see it. I think he's done a lot better than the previous administration did with the N1H1.
That's not true. The previous administration's N1H1 dealings, N1H1, what the fuck? Oh my God.
N1H1. Oh, he's saying it. He's saying it the way that Biden says it. Oh my God. I'm going to die. I'm literally going to die. This is how brain disease jumps from that dipshit to me. Okay. So it does work. Remember how I always ask, like, why does Trump constantly talk about swine flu? Like, why does he always talk about swine flu? Because the previous administration's swine flu numbers actually are much better in comparison. It's like literally a false equivalence that hurts the person using the false equivalence. And I always ask, like, how is this working? It turns out it is working. They believe it. They're like, literally like, yeah, Obama did H1N1, N1H1, doesn't matter. He did it worse than Trump did coronavirus.
It's just a way to avoid getting harassed by people. It doesn't really serve that much of a purpose in terms of stopping the spread of...
Good. This is why shaming works, dude. I will shame this man into wearing a mask all day, every day. Trump supporters on if Trump loses.
If Joe Biden wins?
No. President Biden, that can't happen. I can't even think about that because he does not like America. He's a racist. Now, that's a racist if you want to look at someone who despises the black.
I want to know. I mean, I agree, but I want to know what she's going to say. I think Joe Biden's policies have been horrible for the African-American community throughout his tenure. We definitely agree on that. But you're wearing a Keep America Great hat, which feels kind of weird because it means you like Donald Trump.
Do you have a fear for the country of Donald Trump? You're nodding your head. I'll go.
We actually have plans to move to Panama because it's a country that allows Americans to move there and to actually own firearms there.
Wait, where? Where's? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Please get the fuck out of here, dog. Holy shit. You don't like it, you can get out. First of all, they're not going to, just like I'm not going to, just like Lena Dunham never moved out of the country. Actually, I feel bad. Poor people in Panama don't, like, why are we fucking up Panama more than we already have? You know what I mean? Didn't George H.W. do enough?
I've actually considered leaving the country, moving to South America or something like that. I'm thinking, my ancestors did that back in the 1900s when they left Germany, so.
He means 1942. That's what he means. 1945 is what he means, actually. My ancestors left Germany in the 1900s, 1945, by way of Argentina, actually. You could say I'm a immigrant myself. His family came over in Operation Paperclip. Okay, dude, that would imply that, like, somewhere along the line, there was actually a scientist there in his lineage, and I don't want to believe that, okay? Trump supporters, he's a gift from God.
Was Donald Trump
so good.
God's chosen candidate?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In what way?
It was. Well, first of all, he loves the Lord. I mean, he's been the
Dude, come on. Okay, look. There's a few things that trigger me to no end. Like, you can think Trump is on your side. He gives you enough, like, populist rhetoric, and you're a gigantic idiot. But, like, there's some shit that is just impossible to believe, okay? One, that Trump is, like, a sexy, hot, like, big, burly, macho man. I just don't understand how you can believe that. Like, you can, to some degree, I can understand if you believe that, like, Trump is a good president, because you're just deluded and you're Republican and you have a significant brain problem. So, whatever. I hope you get treatment for it. I don't know if it's treatable. But, like, to think that, for example, Trump is like a masculine, sexy, macho guy, unacceptable. The only thing worse than that, the only thing more unacceptable than that is to think that he is a religious person. The two things that I refuse, if someone tells me Trump is like a sexy macho guy when he clearly is not, that really frustrates me. And the other thing that really frustrates me is when people say Trump is a godly man.
The most pro-Christian president that we've had in a long time. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem. I mean, he's just an amazing man.
That has nothing to do with Christianity. Like, literally does not have anything to do with Christianity. Unless you're an evangelical Christian and you believe that the chosen sons and daughters of God need to own the entire region that Israel currently occupies, so that the second coming of Jesus Christ can come and the rapture can happen and suck you all into heaven while all of those Jews burn in eternal hell for not converting to Christianity. I guess that's what you mean. But, like, seriously. By the way, for those of you who are new here, who are unfamiliar, that's literally what evangelicals believe, which is why evangelical Christians in America are bigger supporters of the state of Israel than American Jews are. This is why I laugh when people are like, Zionists.
like, ooh, the Jews are like dictating Middle Eastern policy. I'm very smart, by the way. I'm a Nazi on the internet. It's like, dude, have you seen the South? Have you met a evangelical white Protestant? And this lady as well, who is not white, but also an evangelical Protestant psycho. They are the biggest supporters of Israel, like way bigger supporters of Israel than American Jews are.
He was put in here for a reason. I pray to God every day. I pray every morning, and I do thank God for put his hand on Donald Trump.
What is he saying? Trump, this guy, speak up, motherfucker. You're literally wearing a t-shirt that says "Make liberals cry again," while you can't even string two sentences together without looking like you're on the verge of tears.
But I absolutely believe, because it was proven, even the mainstream media was reporting, that millions upon millions were praying before Donald Trump went in 2016.
Yeah, this was proven. Who proved this? What are you saying? Why can't you just be normal? Like, why can't you be like a normal person who's just like, I believe in God. I don't have any proof, but neither do you to disprove God. I just like to go to church on Sunday. It's a good community. It gives me like spirituality, makes me feel good, makes me feel like there's a purpose. It's probably better off than whatever kind of atheist black hole that you exist in, you nihilistic say all of that, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. All right, you made some good points, lady, but it's like, no, every Christian was actually joined in a mass prayer to lift up Donald Trump into the highest office in the land. Like, why you gotta take it to some psychotic level every time? Just be normal, dude. That's pretty dismissive on someone's faith. Man, I am the most understanding person when it comes to faith. Are you kidding me? I shit on r/atheism dipshits all day who are like, I'm an anti-theist. Like, I am the most understanding person of people of faith. But when they say stuff like, yeah, we were praying, those communists are amazing. We were engaging in a mass prayer to get Donald Trump elected, literally the Antichrist. We were engaging in a mass prayer to get the Antichrist elected into office. You sound like a psycho. You're completely out of your mind if you're like, this man is very religious and very Christian-like and very Christ-like, and we're all casting a spell together like it's the last sequence of Full Metal Alchemist. Like, we all got together in a city and we drew that alchemist circle, and now we're all summoning inside of that circle, and now we summoned Donald Trump to the highest office. You're a psycho. Let he who has not raw dogged the porn star after his 5th kid with his 3rd wife cast the first stone while his 3rd wife is pregnant.
If Donald Trump wasn't elected in 2016, this country would be a third world country. We're headed that way now if we don't get it stopped.
The funny thing is, 4 more years of Donald Trump, and we have like completely accelerated into that third world country that he's talking about. But they'll still find a way to blame it on the black devil Obama and the white devil Hillary Clinton. You know, 4 years from now, we'll be under like our 8th year of the glorious Supreme Overlord Trump administration. You know, the Fourth Reich, 1,000 years of endless pain and Nazi America. And these motherfuckers will still be like, yeah, it's because of Obama, the cupboards were left bare, brother. That's why. Yeah, I have diabetes and I can't get insurance anymore because pre-existing conditions were completely abolished. But it's actually because Obama left the cupboards bare, brother. You don't understand. This is Joe Biden's America.
You can protest. You need to stop burning down the country. Just stop it. We built this country. History's history. Stop trying to rebuild history and rename things.
I mean, she's not like full white, right? She looks a little spicy white. That leads me to ask a question like, whose heritage are you protecting?
In the Black Lives Matter movement, do you see their case at all?
His name is Hasan.
No.
What do you think of Black Lives Matter?
Well, all lives matter to me. I think that Black Lives Matter is a divisive group. It's a Marxist organization. It's divisive to the family.
Imagine wearing a fucking Keep America Great hat while saying BLM is a divisive group.
Honestly, from the beginning, I felt Black Lives Matter, the organization, was the worst pitched idea, you know, from a marketing standpoint. You look at George Floyd, I don't think everyone was here. Everyone was close. Like, hey, we need to talk about this. We need to figure this out. And we went from, you know, what can we do to change this, to defund the police and total anarchy, and now you've lost all that support.
This is why I hate the annoying neoliberals who are like, we need to win this guy over. It's like, that's what you sound like. I hope you understand whenever you're like, actually, what's up with the optics of BLM? Hey, black people, have you maybe considered not rioting as much when the cops beat the shit out of you, it's bad for optics and marketing because we really need to win these people over. Is one of the most chaotic, childish, baby-brained, privileged takes I've ever seen in my entire life. That's what you sound like, neoliberals. I know you're in here watching me right now, seething. That man is you. Hey, sorry, our allyship was conditional. And now that the marketing is not on board, now that I'm not on board with the marketing, sorry, you don't deserve equal protection under the law. Sorry, the optics just don't align with what I want. Maybe in order to get neolibs on board, we should sell like what cops do as a bad look sweaty. Did you kneel on the neck of an African-American man over what you believed was a forged $20 bill? That's kind of a bad look, sweaty. Your optics as the police force are not on board. I'm not on board with those optics. Unfortunately, Blue Lives Matter sounds kind of silly right now. You're going to need to go back to the drawing board, sweaty. Okay? Okay, Chile? Kind of cringe, cops. Don't kill and don't over-police African-American neighborhoods. Chile is what I have to say to you. Stop it. Is that good? Period.
Trump has already gone into the country, the states and the cities where he's been allowed to go in it and bring peace and safety. The Democratic cities and states where they've not allowed that, that's where that.
People who feel this way, what we need to do is like, oh, you like the violent paramilitary presence in the neighborhoods that you deem to be unworthy or deem to be like a Democrat-run city. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing to you. As long as you live like a black person in a low-income neighborhood with an insane police presence that constantly is breathing down your fucking neck for a month, you get to make those criticisms afterwards. Let's just take the same police force from, not from your community, of course, from like an edge town or from a town over, from one town over with completely different worldviews that treat you as a hostile entity. Let's get them to fucking breathe down your neck nonstop. Look for any little thing that they could potentially bill you on and lock you in jail for. And then we'll hear what you have to say about police presence in your neighborhood. Because it's very easy to just be like, oh, those Democrat-run cities, of course they need to have, yeah, we're going to wife swap. We're going to wife swap the police.
He says he's not a socialist, but all of his ideas sound like socialist ideas, and everybody around him
like what?
Are like socialists, and they all support
like
that.
Who?
And as soon as he's in office, he will start pushing socialism if he was in
like
office.
How? Like what was
They're the devil.
Michael, come on, dude. You're not going to ask a follow-up there? I mean, come on. Like, that's such a psychotic take. You got to pull the mic back and be like, what do you mean exactly? Literally, just like all you had to do was just pull the mic back to your mouth and be like, what exactly do you mean socialist policies?
I'm a foreigner in America. I lived in 2 socialist countries, and I want nothing to do with socialism.
Do you see Joe Biden as socialist?
What country is this guy from? I've seen socialism in other countries, and I don't like it. It's not very nice. I mean, come on. Have you seen the German Communist Party? They used to literally run around with the flags that said Antifa. Not nice at all. They used to beat people up. I mean, seriously. The German Communist Party was such a great threat on the streets. I ran away from all of that. And that's why I'm here now. They used to say, we are Nazis. I mean, yes, I was a part of the Nazi party, but that's very different than the anti-fascists were still the real Nazis, even back then.
He calls himself Catholic. He's pro-abortion and pro-same-sex marriage. How Catholic is that?
Wait, what? Pro same-sex marriage? What year is this lady on, dude? What the fuck? Bruh, that's a mask-off moment. Also, isn't literally the Pope on board with that now? The Catholic Church has really just lost its way, dude. The Pope was literally the other day saying, like, gay kids are just as smart as white kids. No, that was Joe Biden. He said something like that.
It all comes down to policy, and Joe Biden's policies, maybe they're religious, but they're definitely not Christian. And I mean, maybe
yeah, they're Sharia.
he goes to church. I don't know.